Back in April, Ealing Council voted unanimously to create the country's first safe zone outside an abortion clinic. The 100-metre exclusion area will remain in place, and Home Office Minister Victoria Atkins said that any more buffer zones will be granted on a case-by-case basis. Let's get some thoughts on this afternoon. Antonia Tully is Director of Campaigns at the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children. She joins us. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Your reaction to this decision, please.
Well, we're very pleased that the Home Secretary read the evidence that many people put to him about what actually goes on at peaceful, prayerful, pro-life vigils outside abortion clinics. And what happens is that there are very small numbers of people, some of whom pray, and others who are just there to offer help to women at the last minute, to help them keep their babies, think over their decision. And every year, hundreds of women take up this help. This is help that women can get from nowhere else. The abortion industry isn't offering it to them. And we are delighted that the Home Secretary has looked at the evidence and come to the correct conclusion that there's no harassment or intimidation. Women are not running a gauntlet of nasty, vicious people who are trying to
Well, with respect,
them.
that is not strictly true, is it? Because the review also demonstrated that in some cases, protesters handed out model fetuses, displayed graphic images, followed people, blocked their paths, and even assaulted them. Now, that is part of the contents of this review. So it's not all a form of peaceful protest and helping people.
And the Home Secretary was absolutely explicit that behaviour is not the norm. And the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children has never condoned that sort of behaviour outside abortion facilities.
It's not the norm, but what do you do if some people are taking their form of protest or their concern in a certain way and carrying out such actions that have just been suggested? What do you do about that?
Well, we've often urged such protesters not to adopt those sort of tactics. But the point is that most pro-life vigils are not adopting those tactics. And this is, in addition, a common-sense response to everybody's freedom, dearly held freedom in this country, to be able to express their views on a particular subject.
So this is about freedom of speech, in your view.
It's about primarily making sure that women who need help at that moment of crisis get it, and our freedom of
but again, forgive me, I come back to this point. It's not just about help, is it? Because you rather glossed over the concerns that in some cases, and I'm using the word some intentionally because we know it's not all cases and it's certainly not the norm, but what do you do when you have protesters who are handing out model fetuses, for example, to a woman who might be going into an abortion clinic? That is not appropriate. If it's not the norm but you still have people doing it, then what can you do about that?
Well, I think we can encourage those groups not to employ those sort of tactics, but I think we need to get this. We need to get a sense of proportion about this. And there have even women who are handed a model of an unborn baby. Many of those women, that has been the lifeline that they've grasped in order to make a change of course and not go through with the abortion. Because I think you need to understand, and I particularly want your listeners to understand, that many women who decide to go for an abortion are very ambivalent about their decision. It's not a cut and dried thing.
No, I don't think anyone is suggesting it is cut and dried. Antonia, I'm going to move it on to get a further view on this. I do appreciate your time. That's Antonia Tully, Director of Campaigns at the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children.